What is up guys, my name is Ben Hartwell, thanks for checking out the channel. If it's your first time here, or even if it's not, why not hit that subscribe button. So about a week ago, when restrictions started to get lifted here in the UK and we were allowed to visit other households, I managed to get down to my parents' house, and whilst I was there, I grabbed one of the guitars that they have in storage for me. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen some of the pictures that I've been putting up alluding to what this guitar might be, and it is a bit of a weird and unusual guitar, so a lot of you might not have recognised what it actually was. So what was it? It was my Yamaha SGV 300. Back around 1999, 2000, I was looking at getting a new guitar, something that was a bit of a step up from the Encore Strat that I was playing at the time. Now don't get me wrong, for a beginner guitar, that Encore Strat was amazing, but it was a very cheap beginner guitar, and I was looking for something that could maybe take my guitar playing up a notch. So a few of my friends were looking at getting guitars around the same kind of time, and they were getting Les Paul copies, Strat copies, and I just wanted something a little bit different, a little bit more stand out. So me and my dad took a trip to my local music store, which is sadly no longer there, and shortly after walking in, there on the sale rack was this Yamaha, and I instantly fell in love with the colour and the way it looks. I'd never seen anything that looked the way this guitar looked, and for me as a young, maybe 14, 15-year-old, I just thought it looked amazing. So after a lot of persuasion, because this was not a cheap guitar at the time, my parents bought it for me. Thanks guys. And it really did change my guitar playing. And I think one of the main reasons was I finally had a humbucker pickup. So all the rock stuff that I was really into at the time, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, all that kind of stuff, I finally had a guitar that could do those sounds and I could play along. So what is this guitar? Let's run through some specs. This is a Yamaha SGV 300, which is the lowest spec in their SGV reissue range. Dating the guitar from the serial, I found out that it is a 2000 model. It has a crazy shaped solid alder body, a one-piece maple neck with this amazing headstock that my friend dubbed the Samurai headstock, a rosewood fingerboard, 22 frets, which are in pretty bad shape as this guitar has been hammered over its lifetime, so it could really do with a refret. It has a Yamaha roller style tremolo bridge, which feels super smooth. From what I read, it has 3 ceramic pickups with a 3-position switch, 1 volume, 1 tone, and then this really interesting third knob, which acts as a blend control when you're in the bridge position, allowing you to blend in that middle pickup, creating a whole load of other tones, both humbucking and single coil. So this is now a 20-year-old guitar, and it is showing some signs of wear. Since I've had this guitar, I've gigged it extensively, and it's starting to show its age. It could do with a bit of TLC. Some of the most noticeable things that have happened to it, it no longer has a strap button on the bottom. These roller saddles, although they are really smooth, quite a few years ago they started to rattle. So in my youth I actually broke off some parts of plectrums and jammed them in between the gaps between the saddles so that they didn't rattle together anymore. The frets are in pretty bad shape, it could really do with a refret. The tuners are pretty poor, they're very cheap, and they don't keep the guitar in great tune, so they could probably do with an upgrade. The nut is in surprisingly decent condition. The paintwork has some knocks and bruises here and there, nothing too bad. Although I remember when I was a kid and it started to show some buckle rash on the back, I was gutted. Now, I don't care. I mean, it looks amazing, this sparkle red finish, but it's a really thick coat of paint that's on it. Overall, the guitar, for its age, and to say it's been in storage for the past 8 years or so, plays really well. All I did was string it up with a new set of Sforza 10s, and that's it. It plays really well. It could definitely do with a setup as the bridge is pulling quite far forward, but other than that, she's not doing too bad. As I said, one of the things that really intrigued me with this guitar was the fact that it could do both single coil and humbucking sounds. This humbucking pickup at the bridge, although I guess it's not really a true humbucking pickup as it's 2 single coils that are spread much further apart than the coils would be in a humbucker, but when you are on that bridge pickup and you have that blend control in the middle, so you're using both pickups, I think it sounds really cool, and as a kid, I just thought it was amazing. Having plugged it in now and played through it for the past few days, one of the tones that I'm really surprised at is this neck pickup. It's got that really cool, throaty, kind of open sound, like a single coil neck pickup on a Strat. So what about some things that I don't like about this guitar? Number one, I hate where this pickup switch is. It just does not work for me. I know there are some other guitars that have a pickup switch down there. Things like an Explorer and a Firebird both have their switches down here. For me, it just does not work. It's not ergonomic to the way that I play. I'm so used to a pickup switch being down by the volume control, like on a Strat, that moving it all the way across to the front end of the guitar feels really weird to me. But I get why they did it, as there is limited space where you could put a pickup switch on this control plate. Other things that I'm not super keen on, although the bridge feels amazing, it does not stay in tune very well at all. There's no dive bombing on this guitar. Even just the slightest use of the bar will send this guitar out of tune. That probably isn't helped by the tuners, which definitely need changing, and the fact that it has 2 string trees as well. But it is a super smooth, slinky feeling tremolo, and probably with a bit of setup and changing those tuners, it would work just fine. Another thing, I guess this is just a foible of this guitar, but because this headstock is so massive, this guitar does not fit in regular guitar cases. I had to get the biggest gig bag that the store had at the time, and even with that bag, it is a right squeeze to get this guitar in. But I guess that could be solved by putting it in a case that was made for a bass guitar, as the extra height would allow this guitar to fit in a lot easier. One thing that still amazes me on this guitar is the way these pots feel. They're super silky smooth. They're 500k pots with these chrome knobs on, and you can literally move it with your little finger. They feel amazing. And when I played this guitar live, it means you can do volume changes really easily. But there you go, that's my 2000 Yamaha SGV 300. I hope some of you guys found this interesting. Bit of a weird guitar, you might not have seen one of these before, but for me, it absolutely changed my guitar playing journey. And even now, after playing however many guitars it is that I've played, this is a really great guitar. Just to give you some kind of idea on where this fits into a modern day spec of guitar, at the time this guitar was on sale for £220. I think its actual retail cost was somewhere in the £260, £270 kind of range. So by today's modern standards, it'd be somewhere in the region of £430. So not a super low spec guitar, but definitely a step up from what I was playing at the time. So that's it. If you want to see more of this guitar, go check me out on Instagram where you can see a whole shoot that I did with it. I hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up below. If you want to watch another video on my channel, you can click just here. And don't forget to subscribe. You can do it right there. I'll see you in the next one.